Welcome to Bullet Heaven, my son. Your time will be spent playing these games. You might even platinum one of them. Maybe two. Oh my bullet god. Is that Macho Bullet Randy Savage? Oh yeah, triple word score. Take that bullet, Lincoln. Thinking, Lincoln, thinking, Lincoln, Lincoln, thinking. Yeah. Say everything twice. Say everything. Wow, freak out. Welcome to the Searching4RinoaCast, the Searching for Rinoa podcast.
Ah, yes!
7 months is a long time for one of these, and I'm constantly reminded of the complete lack on my what if. You remember that one where funny thing happens when you go back to doing stuff on the daily. A lot of stuff fell by the wayside. Man, I don't think I'm ever going to get that old writer's block beat. But I'll hit you with what's on the horizon for this channel with Coming Soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. Alright, so we finally finished Tales of Vesperia. To think there was, like, even in that area, the final one, I could have just left and done, like, more side questing stuff, and then there's, like, a whole after, I didn't even touch the Nordopolica Coliseum. Anyway, as far as, stuff on the channel that you can expect in the near future, of course, more Mega Man and Mega Man-like titles still coming up on weekends. I've come so far down the timeline to start putting in some of the Mega Man X series. I've already done the first game as a two-parter. I have since retooled that playlist and having all the Mega Man X games on it, so that's just gonna be what's it gonna be now. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. I finally dive deep into the trilogy, quote-unquote, of games that is Holy Magic Century, as deep as those games go, anyway. Goes for about half of April, then the other half I'm going to keep to myself, as I bring you another Secret of Mana with the remastered Legend of Mana. That's what I've got recorded so far, and June I haven't decided yet. With that out of the way, let's go on to The Adventures of Platinum Hunting. It's in the walls. Well, I'm not shooting at my walls. That's bad ownership. That's not glass that would shatter. Compiling all this, there was this 20 game easy platinum with games that were like 10 cents each. Some I could easily plat, others took a little bit more of effort. A few of them I was like not putting myself through hell trying. It's been a while since the last podcast. There wasn't much home to write about until I got to, like, there was like the title of the episode. I finally unlocked 200 things in the Army of Ruin game that I showed you. Last trophy on this you'll most likely get as you complete the game's listed challenges to unlock characters, their weapons, other weapons, and trinkets, level them up to level 5 and evolve them. Sometimes you gotta take a character to a certain level and a certain stage and a certain difficulty, that sort of thing. Get the in-game currency to power up passives for everybody. Hero Survival was simple, but really meh compared to Army of Ruin, only because it's a lot less going for it. It's a little bit more luck dependent. By you play Army of Ruin so long, you feel like a god in some of those cases. There's like the spinning top weapon, there's the surrounding daggers and the ice, I always did like the arrows for a long while, because if you max that up, it bounces off of things. There was a lot of stuff where you get like a lot of bullets on screen. Usually you gotta fail and get what cash you can to unlock everything and beat all the levels in that other game. I clearly played the coolest right off the bat. So, if you like the bullet heaven kind of games, like Vampire Survivors, I believe it's called, I definitely highly recommend Army of Ruin. Word Quest was mad cheap and easy, just a quick word search, complete the first 12 levels, boom. Less easy, more simple was a bust-a-move game called I Love Food. You can actually platform your way to getting the bubbles to get a better shot in to clear levels. With that platforming, there's also pitfalls, and you can fall in, and it's like, oh, start the level over. Kind of a double-edged sword for the getting on those platforms, because now if the bubbles reach you and you're higher up, you know, there's risk-reward involved in that one. I was like, oh, okay. It took me about 45 minutes to complete the 30 levels all the way through. So yeah, just played the whole game all the way through. So you might take more than a few L's on the way. Some levels you just can't get what you need to advance. You just gotta start over. It's just like, alright. Meadow Gallop was 4 minutes. Just run around crushing ducks or geese until you reach 2,500 points. Working Hard Collection with a guide took me 5 minutes. Mythology Waifus Mahjong, 11 levels to complete, took me around 35 minutes. Billy 101, puzzle platformer, where you need to complete the first 22 levels to get all the trophies. If you've not gotten the platinum, chances are you've missed doing a thing where you have to die to something, like a fiery floor or a bomb explosion, or at level 22, lasers. Needed a bit of a walkthrough help to make this 20 minutes as opposed to 30, I would have. Dungeons and Goblins a lot simpler, really bare bones hack and slash RPG, like just complete 11 levels, unlocking the 12th. You don't even need to touch the arena, but if you're having trouble, head home, check your inventory, upgrade what needs to be upgraded. Doing this, I didn't even run into trouble and could just blitz through 95% of this game room through room until by like level 11, I had like so many health potions and I was able to just boot up and eventually unlock level 12 when I didn't. Because then, like, once you get to about like 10, 11, the spike in difficulty starts. They get like more HP and they can hurt you a lot more. And you want like 1,200 HP. They were starting to like, this room might kill me. I better drop a potion or two. And again, by then I had like double digits.
Hey, Rinoa, you want to explain to me why a game called Pretty Boys Klondike Solitaire is in your list?
If a hetero male wants to play some cards with a fairly simple to get platinum, that's his business.
That is some powerful side crotch for a Sony game.
I know, right? Anyways, current level, 788 platinum trophies, 550. Haven't had anything for low-hanging fruit for a while, but I get to bring this back specifically for, well, you want to hear a joke? Sweet Baby Inc. Oh, they've been raked across the coals by many a YouTube channel far more superior than mine own. Basically parading diversity, equality, and inclusion while they weaponize it to proclaiming any disagreeers labeled as alt-right and bigots at best and launching doxing and harassment campaigns at worst. They fucked around. Gamers found out. And they didn't like Gamergate the first time they had to be shoved in their faces. And they responded to this name-calling by listing all the games this company had a hand in, and, well, they fucked around, and I guess we found out now. Because as the old John Lovitz cartoon The Critic has once taught us, if the movie stinks, just don't go. Now, I'm no the customer is always right advocator. Anyone who worked retail will tell you such. But you as a consumer do have the right to choose where your money goes. And a more well-known saying is, money talks, bullshit walks. And it's not just gaming. It seems to be all entertainment these days, covered by Vera Dark and It's a Gundam about this. I hesitate to talk about this because I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the one who defended Bridget and Testament's gender's changes in Guilty Gear Strive. That was considered, like, woke, isn't it? Well, here's the difference. Those were brought down by the Guilty Gear god himself. That's like his baby. That's his children going through this. And it's like, okay. And then there was, it wasn't forced. It was earned is the difference. Work shown in history as to why those changes took place. It wasn't Velma just brown-washed into like a alternate universe and just people hate-watched it more than anything else. It wasn't the new X-Men 97. I'm like, oh, cool, this is coming a thing. And then things came out where it's like, okay, we're taking Morphin. We're going to just transwash him into Agendus of Boar. Maybe the show's good, and maybe I'll come back on that, but this is current Disney, so I always like to consider the source when it comes to stuff like this. I'm just like, so when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh! And then I remembered, Wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt, but not when you force the benefit. When you force the benefit, not earn it in my eyes, we have the right to rescind that invitation to benefit of doubt. Especially considering that whole Toriyama thing that blew up all over YouTube. Yeah, trying to cancel a dead man. You went from delusional Dark Side Phil style to Westboro Baptist Church level of bullshit. I've seen the black side of anime YouTubers. They don't give a shit what Popo looks like. I don't think he even showed up in Super at all to begin with. Just something I wanted to add my 2 cents to, because this has clearly been happening for a while. If you weaponize inclusivity, it turns to hypocrisy real fast. It turns out that, yeah, maybe you can be a little racist and not so inclusive to white people, and maybe a little sexist towards men too. Gamers are now better armed with knowledge than they were the first time this grift was put on, and it shows. So we can stomp the fire out before it grows. You know, Gamergate us once, shame on you. Gamergate us twice, shame on us. Until we find out what it is, and then the shame's back on you. Which is what happened. That whole, like there's more active users on the, Sweet Baby Ink detected than there were, like, actual players of the game at one point. Yeah, trying to change other studios based on a threat of cancellation if they don't agree with your mission statement is neither diversity, equality, or inclusion. The answer to that question is D. Terrorism. And we know the saying in America that there is no negotiation. I know Japan, there's like a thing as, it's a Gundam put together. It's like, oh, they pulled out of this DEI nonsense. Also, Kotaku, your defense force? Really? Get the fuck out of here. Speaking of Defense Force, time to walk the setting of post-apocalypse with the long-awaited return of Season 2 of Tales of Roleplay! New season, new campaign, new game called Fate. New system, actually. Heavily dice-based. Well, I mean, like, heavily dice-based. Not just uses D20 more often than not for things like D&D outside of attack types. You need one of each of those dice from 4 to 20, and a second D6 as your Fate die, which shows up in all of your dice rolls to determine everything. Even stats your character has, if it's like untrained or something like that. Well, it's you started. My brother did this, started with Fate, and then became something else. But it's about stats and like rolls and everything. If you're rolling for something, it's like, okay, you have a 4 in this. That's a D4. Roll that D4 to do the check. For like the skills you're kind of proficient in. If you're not proficient in it, I think you take like a penalty. It's like a D4 halved. So you take like a debuff or something like that. If you want to get like an actual buff in something, take a debuff. There's like that sort of thing. Like a detriment, like if your character is narcissistic or bad with money or something like that. Now there's a pro and con to having low dice for some rolls. Like a D4 has a 1 in 4 chance of landing on that maximum number. That doesn't even count the 1 in 6th chance of you rolling a 6 on your Fate die as you roll that D4. So that comes into play too. In Fate, when you roll a die's highest number, that die explodes and you roll it again, and then that die adds on to your previous roll. If you happen to roll another 4 on that D4, roll again. And you just keep doing it till you roll something other than that 4. Like, we seriously had someone in our campaign roll 3 6s on a D6 involving a psionic attack on one of our pursuers, and his head exploded. The other big thing in Fate are the spendable tokens. You get 3 a session, and the number goes up each session. You can spend these on to re-roll a bad roll or like soak up some damage, I think, or something like that. I am very new to this system, so my info may not be 100% on point. Plus, my brother did a thing where he like based it on this and changed some things around. Like this is not what the my character sheet looks like. It's based on Fate, but it's like its own thing. If it's a little more open-ended like that, like looking at the rulebook, there was like because my character is tone deaf, I do like +2 damage on like sonic weapons or something like that. If I like yell or scream or something like that, like you can like do a good bard, or like are you a successful bard or a shitty bard? And just like ow. It's kind of like explaining your anime power bullshit. Yeah. It feels like an episode of JoJo, and if you can explain it well enough, if a DM looks it over and says, I'll allow this, okay. Depends on the setting. But yeah, if you want to know more, I suggest visiting fate-srd.com. I will put that on screen and explain the campaign itself. I originally scripted this a while back, like in beginning of March. Like, I think we started our first thing in, like, February, and we planned this for, like, maybe, like, beginning of the year, January, February, in there. The 30th of March, we were supposed to play more of the campaign, but half our crew couldn't show. So, this was supposed to be 3 sessions. I now have to be forced to lump 2 that we had in one video. Our schedules just, for the game, pretty much reflected this length of time. So, please bear with if I'm not getting, like, a lot of these Tales of Roleplay. Might be a while before I even add it to, like, the playlist or something like that. But, anyway. Savage/Ruined Earth. I don't even remember the name of the campaign. I was looking up, like, Barbarians of the Ruined Earth. I'm like, no, that was the other post-apocalypse campaign where I did the cleric robot, Uther. But yeah, this was put together by my older brother with years upon years of dungeon mastering. Like, he's doing this campaign for, like, another group over in Philly who he's been with since, like, high school, maybe before that, as far as I know. That was my first D&D group, basically. So, coming up with something centered around something simple as Fate or Fate Accelerated. He's the one behind that D&D campaign of Phi Lon and the Time Sword. He's DMing a lot of these. So, you know what I know, you're working with a professional. This campaign, he based a lot of his research and world building on the post-apocalypse, which always gives me, as a gamer, pause. I've played Fallout. I know what to expect from a game like this, where it is post-apocalypse. I'm like, oh boy. It's not just kicking ass and getting levels. We have to worry about food and water, and he made, like, these really big, elaborate wood panel things that, like, to put, like bennies in for, like, if you're well rested, if you've been super well fed, you're super hydrated. You gotta worry about food and water when neither is a commodity. But again, Fallout. Well, let's introduce my character, survivalist and kick-ass martial artist, perhaps? ? I don't have a real name for him yet. Right now, he's going by his more known pen name. His name is Jim Nassim. Yeah, this is how you know this is one of my creations. One of the backgrounds was indeed a vault dweller, like kind of like Fallout, but Jim wrote a rudimentary, crude means of, kicking ass, basically like a survival guide. Crude like Seagal, yet a little more effective like Van Damme, like not upper tier echelon of action star, just kind of like for some reason I had in my head like looks like Vin Diesel but sounds like Blark from Blark & Son. I'm already gone. And for some reason, it's always in his head when he's when described, I was like, first off, you're doing like katas in like his little cage, because that's where he kind of started at. For some reason, the first 30 seconds of Everybody Wants Some by Van Halen in his head, just the drum solo part, and just start doing like poses and katas, just just pull you into my insanity. Gymnasium. I thought I was gonna play like more Magic 80s kind of thing. We kind of brainstormed with that, and it came up with this. And I'm like, oh wait, there's no magic. I'm like, ooh, I gotta write. So I didn't want to hold him up too long. I had to like write and hustle. So he's kind of like so new character, new series. So my memory on this is a more iffy than usual. I'm just trying to explain as best as possible. But yeah, I'm like the guy who wrote the zombie survival book. It might not be backed by science, but real enough in a post-apocalyptic world where the men are men and the radiation's frequent and there's a zombie apocalypse going on right now, maybe. I'm sure we'll run into like weird radiation zombie somewhere. We start the campaign, like I said, busting out of our cages. We have a quick explanation of everybody. Caravan truck that was carrying us tipped over, or we rolled out, or something like that. But our party is free to roam this savage/ruined earth as we see fit, crudely looking over our options. We decide to go in the path of a sandy field because we can see from far away, ooh, shiny. Which turned out to may or may not be a discarded atom bomb or something, because the closer we get, the sicker we get. So, air ain't supposed to taste metal, so it's time to detour towards these mountains. All the while, day by day, trying to roll good on food and water supply every day. It's like, okay, everybody do your D4 check. The lowest quality of food and water are in these measures of D4s. Like I think we had at the start, most of us, I don't know, everybody's inventory. We're all given like a piece of paper with their inventory. I think I got a hatchet, a crude helmet, and a D4 of water. So we're all in this together. Let's share all our D4s. Share that among the party. If we roll that D4 on a high number, we're okay. If not, we do take our water or food, but the D4 is spent. For example, you have a 3d4 of water, 3 uses. You roll a 1 or 2. That gets bumped down to a 2d4. Pass to the next person. One roll makes good. Okay, pass it on. Still 2d4. Another bad rolls. Now down to a d4. One more bad roll, and it's gone. We get a better idea on where to go in our travels after finding a makeshift plane wreckage that we salvaged some jet fuel parts. A map, most importantly. Probably second only to the food and water we secure. That's how and when we decide our next path to take. So we had an idea for a while, but that plane kind of saved our asses. It's like, okay, we're going to the mountains now. Let's get away from the thing that's slowly killing all of us. So we get to the mountains. We rest for the day. Take shifts. Our captors are in pursuit. So it's like, oh, we can kind of see them before they know most of us are there, so we can ambush them. Mostly successful. One of the party nearly double ones, like a d4, d6 on a grenade toss. I would imagine in that state of critical failure, it's like little Tom and Jerry or like some Looney Tunes type of shit where you throw the pin and hold the grenade. It's like, take 5 seconds and do like a double take. Thankfully, it's just hauled off into distance away from any enemy. But hey, campaigns and stories are made for some fuck-ups to make it to, like, good flourish or something like that. It's like, yeah, you turn tragedy to triumph. It's like, oh, they're distracted, go! That's when the aforementioned head explode on one of them happened after one of the bigger pursuers. And one of them who plays, like, a shotgun-toting dwarf character is like, I'm going to assume I did it. Because that's just my... Oh, we are some characters. But yeah, you can turn a fuck-up into a flambe, good stories are made of botches turned into beautiful works of art. It's like, I meant to do that. Gymnasium with hatchet in hand. Cold cuts one of the other guys. I think Fate springs to mind when I first read up on it. A lot of your action cartoons where there's just mooks to drop in an encounter easy, like some unnamed goon or your usual type of humanoid enemy soldier in a Power Ranger / Sentai show. It's like, putties, come down! And you just whoop on them. Probably just a bunch of 1 or 2 d6s of toughness to go through. I think it's how Fate does toughness. Again, I'm grasping here. I don't know I tried looking it up, and Fate does it this way. The character shooting campaign does it a little differently. For this, I think it's in toughness in My Brother's Moons. If an attack is powerful enough to go through over your toughness number, you take a point of stress. Or, since my brother redid the campaign a bit, wounds. I looked at my actual character sheet. 4 pips of wounds, 3 fatigue. I imagine your standard long rest will fix a wound or a fatigue pip. Now, the website describes that you can be taken out rather than just dead. That's why I feel Fate was designed around more of your, 80s, 90s friendly children's cartoons. This was, very, very rarely is death a thing. I don't even see, death even in the explanation of it. A lot of it was just oh, you're going to get taken out for the episode. Or you can say before the next attack comes in, declare, oh, I'm going to pull you win this round, but I'll get you next in the next time later on in the episode you pull like hands up, it's like, hands up, Duke, you're going to prison. You're going to my Cobra prison where you'll be able to break out and I'll tell you my evil plan. That sort of thing. For kids. If you flourish it and play with it enough, it's like, okay, here's a fate point for you. Here's one of them bennies that you can spend later. Them tokens. Yeah, like run away or pull a surrender or offer to be taken into Villain's Lair and get your bond shit. But this being some post-apocalyptic setting, it's safe to assume that death is more common. No one's taking too much damage on our end to warrant this, but it's safe to assume. I think one of us maybe got like a slight vision impairment or minor eye infliction that Arrest fixed up just because we got away from the fucking poison surrounding the shiny thing. It's just like, ooh, we need to get away from this. Like I said, air isn't supposed to leave a faint metallic taste on your tongue and like crack your lips and fingers. But yeah, we do enough damage to go through like most of everyone's toughness to down everybody. We leave like maybe like 1 or 2 for questioning. One gets chased down and shotgunned in the back by our dwarf. One we leave for questioning until we don't need him anymore. We loot, get some hatches, D6 by the way. Any water or food rations. If you thought looting was a thing in D&D, like again, the food and water scarcity factor, and I was a fucking pack rat when I did Fallout 3 back on Twitch a long time ago. You met them. Those channels, I don't think that exists outside of maybe like a 1 or 2 like clips of just doing funny shit. That is long, long gone. Continuing across the mountains, our one robot-legged lizard man mutant or dino person, what have you. The campaign's always gotta have like gotta have your Chewbacca. With his metal boot, stumbles upon and finds this hidden trapdoor in the mountains. It's like, uncover it. Have a bit of trouble trying to figure out how to open this big, probably vault or blast door with nothing to push or pull on. Finally, one of us hatches through it. We get kind of hung up on this for a while, and we had like a shorter second session. First wasn't that much either, because half of that was like, okay, here's this new system, come up with like characters, and I'm like, oh god, and I already flubbed it up already, like I said earlier with the magic character, and my brother's like, there's no magic. It's like, oh shit, now I gotta change some of this around and just be like, okay, you don't want to be the guy that holds up but we hatch it through this door, get more supplies. Place is really dark though, and the way down is through this one rickety and worn step ladder of rope that one of us made a bad roll on, and it's already, some of it kind of came off and kind of might not hold anymore, so another bad roll might, maybe that runs on like D4s or something. I don't know. Like maybe there's like a durability thing we don't know about. It's up to the DM's discretion to see whether or not it takes, or if we get there, if we like fall off, if the ladder breaks, that sort of thing. But our whole party takes a while on this because we're kind of split like above the hole while they're climbing down there. Like we can hear them, but we can't really see anything other than like maybe some flares our dino person had on hand, played by a more phone savvy player than I will ever be. It's like, my character doesn't speak human. I'll write out this basic shape somewhat on this to dry on his like phone, and you can like see it. It's like, he's like in character. I assume it's like on some busted Etch-a-Sketch type device or something, and he just kind of scrawls out with like his little dinosaur hands, just like, food, like direction or something like that, or like away from. When we like, he's the first one who mentioned like, okay with this, but I see some of you are like cracked hands or something like that. He doesn't say all that out loud, so he writes like, maybe it's like this, it's like points that way, and it's like skull and crossbones. That's like, just an 8-foot lizard man with an Etch-a-Sketch. Ooh, those things are pain in the ass to use. But yeah, we get out for our torches are all spent. We got like a pretty good amount of like food stuff and stuff like that, like even like canned stuff, like D6s of food. That if that gets bumped down, like 2d6, 1d6, then that becomes I think a D4 or something like that, or does it? I forget what that conversion is exactly. One of us takes a spill off that ladder, but roll good enough to be like, ow, my pride, rather than, oh, fuck, my leg, I can't roll. But yeah, we just had to, like, lizard man, like, grab me and I'll trapeze him out. Just, human rope. That's Saturday morning stuff, like, take my hand, that sort of thing. We got around to it in some way. So we get out with our goods. Again, couple of weapons, maybe more jet fuel. I think like a stim or something like that. Not sure, like stim pack or just like a thing of drugs where you just like and Hulk out or some shit. Our trek is halted by some folks wearing mud and dirt as they try to blend in. They're more of a tribe with some regional dialect we don't really understand fully. It's like, oh, you muck these guys good, yeah, or something like that along those lines. I wasn't fully in on this. But yeah, through talking, it's like, oh, they got this village. We'll take us there. They'll barter with us, trade with us if we help them deal with their silver shiny men issue. Could be hazmat suits, could be giant robots. But that's where our session ended. Yeah, not a whole lot of, I spent more probably talking about the fate itself. And then my brother did like a thing on top of that campaign, so it's like a game within a game. It's like double on that, so the first session, like I said, half the time was spent building the characters, and then the second was just like a few hours on a Friday. We managed to like, oh, we're all here. Let's just do this because we might not get a chance. And it's like, okay, we scheduled for the 30th, but again, plans fall through. Business gets in the way. So this second season may struggle a bit, and the wait time might be a little longer for the next Tales of Roleplay. And now here's a video of treats that I had saved up for weeks.
Last box of the Turkish munchies, because I keep getting mostly the same things, except for, I think I usually got the hazelnut sorrel last time. That's a coconut, clearly. And then the Choco Dans, brand spanking new. But caramel? Oh, that's a Choco Down. It looks, I thought it was like a candy bar or something. That's pretty good. It's like our hard chewy substance, kind of. I think a crispy Rolo or something like that. I can't believe I forgot to mention anything about the coconut sorelli, I think it was. Yeah, it was good. It's never gonna replace Almond Joy or Mounds. That shit is crack. But anyway, back again with more treats. These are from Malaysia. We got two of them here by Munches. First is the Oat Crunch, which this says Oak Crunch. I was like, wait, what? And then I looked at the other thing. I'm like, oh, wait, that makes more sense. Happens to the best of us. These cookies with an oat crunch, high in whole grain and rich in beta-glucan, which can help to lower cholesterol and blood pressure, making it a healthy and tasty cookie. Then the other one is the chocolate sandwich crackers, also by Munchies. Let's get a closer look at those. Is it like chocolate on chocolate? Yeah. Chocolate lovers. Chocolate cream sandwich and 2 chocolate crackers. Crackers, not cookies. Wonder if that's different or not, or if they're just like different shade of cookie. Or is it like graham cracker? Maybe that's what it is. Just a flat cookie right here. Oh yeah, that's a graham cracker, all right. That's the other one, the chocolate. Not sure how well you can see this one, but this is it's just called Jelly Cup by Dragonfly. A small cup of fruit jelly you eat by squeezing the sides of the packet, slurping up the jelly. Very unique and popular snack all around Asia. Yeah, I've been to like an Asian market once before and had something like this. It was like a lot bigger than this though, but it's like a little sample packet. Not even that'll be a quick one. Having eaten these before, you want to open them with your teeth so you can get at it early, so you know it doesn't like spill on your hand or anything like that. And I also got this strawberry roll cake by Lontan. Strawberry roll cake. European-style cake rolls in the flavor strawberry. It represents an Asian interpretation of a European-inspired treat and tastes delicious. This is one of those Swiss rolls with strawberry. Yeah, I'll probably like this too. Oh, it's like very spongy. Okay, so it's a Swiss roll, but they don't like coat it on top, so it stays like super soft. And then it just gives way, it just melts. Oh, that's fantastic. That's awesome. And last on the tour of Malaysia, these potato crackers cheese by Regent. Irresistible snack that combines savory goodness of potatoes with a tantalizing cheese flavor. Each crispy bite-sized cracker is a perfect balance of crunchy texture and cheesy delight. And these potato chips by Meow Meow. Savory potato chips over the years, they've established themselves as one of the leading snack food manufacturers in Malaysia. These potato chips are one of Malaysia's most popular. Just a thin old cracker here. Yeah, super thin. How thin that is. Oh, that's awesome. It's buttery too on top of that. So you're getting like a cheesy buttery potato. And here's what they look like. Little pop chips here. It's like a fluffier, more subtle onion ring. That is also excellent. Yeah. Okay, when in Malaysia, go for the potato eats, man. Because Wow.
Now for some more snacking for Noah outside of that. Snickerdoodle Pop-Tarts kicks brown sugar's ass, that's for sure. It passes the toaster test amazingly. So much so, I didn't really get the frozen. I don't think it would have been that good. But yeah, I wouldn't mess with this. I got 2 of these stir so far. The coconut pineapple and the strawberry watermelon. They're okay. They don't match up as much as the Mio, though. Mayo? M-I-O? Evolve, a plant-based double chocolate shake. It definitely tasted plant-based. You ever try a thing where you think if you like eat it enough or drink it enough of something weird or hot, it's like, you'll develop a liking to it, and maybe it'll be like, maybe it won't be as bad.
Oh, no!
This is the opposite of that. This got worse, if anything. I don't usually like throwing food or drink away, but even if it's just okay, I'll just be like, something my parents have gone through all this time. It's like, you don't have to. It's like, I'm not gonna waste this food. From Philly, for Christ's sake. I know where we came from. We did start from the bottom, and now we're here. I ain't never forgetting that. Cheetos pretzels, another decent, not wow factor offering, reminded me of the Snyder's pretzels in a way. I think if you just coated thin pretzel sticks would be like the dangerously cheesy that you're known for, Cheetos. So this was just kind of mid. And mid for Cheetos? If you're not dangerously cheesy.
Oh, no!
Did not care for this either. 95-5 ratio of coffee soda, black coffee too. I take mine with cream with 2 sugars. That's all it really needs. Or like, not even cream, milk and 2 sugars. I had French vanilla, but I don't do coffee a whole hell of a lot, so sometimes I've had it where it's like, oh, this is expired, I gotta get rid of this. I think if I could mix a Pepsi and coffee, I would maybe get a better result than this. There are other ones, so this is successful, but yeah, this was not my pick. My eldest niece, all about the black coffee. I can't do it. I can't do it. I probably could if I got like maybe the right kind of tasting coffee, just to be like, yeah, all right. I did not, but not this. Reese's peanut butter cups with caramel for the sweetest of sweet tooths. Like, PB cups are perfect in their own way. Looking up for this, I think I had the big cup. I did not see like the normal cup here. I definitely did not see the pieces, like a caramel Reese's pieces. That I might have to find. That could be interesting. But yeah, the decadence of this eat. They do not skimp on chocolate or peanut butter already, so they don't skimp on the caramel. Another case of, I like it, but maybe this won't stick around. But again, it still got me curious though, to maybe in pieces form, just a little bit of everything might be good. Is it caramel instead of chocolate? How would that work? I have to find that if I can, or it might be too late. Something else that also might be too late. This might be seasonal. This is more of a, I love this. I hope to see this stick around next year and longer still.
Oh, yes!
Tasty cake pancake crimpets. This hits just right. It's a maple buttercream kind of eat that just perfectly encapsulates how soft that crimpet cake is. Oh man, this is winner. This is the highlight right here. This is the best one. This was the best. The Evolve was the worst. And then I found sparkling ice was my like water drink for a while, so I'm not doing like all like soda and coffee and stuff like that. But yeah, they do a Starburst one. I've so far only had the cherry, which has that strong bubbly soda kind of taste to it that a lot of the sparkling ice do. It's kind of And then the strawberry, which to quote Oscar winner for Best Supporting Actress Marissa Tomei, dead on balls accurate.
Oh, yes!
Liquid strawberry Starburst. That hit almost as good as the crimpets. Crimpets would edge it out just because that was. I was expecting either one to be that good, but man, yeah. Anyway, I can finally open what I had for like a couple days now, a treats box I got from the Philippines, and do a video on that. Just keep it by itself, maybe. Or a podcast. I haven't decided yet. So stay tuned. Hopefully you enjoy the Holy Magic Trilogy. Feeling good video-wise again. Caught up a month and change in advance as far as uploads. I'll have to get even more after this. This will probably like drag me down. Because now I gotta edit this beast. That's the podcast. Play me out, Dave.
God damn it, baby, no, I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time. Ah, yeah.